Hello, thanks for tuning in. I'm Jim Roger.
I'm Kyle Dayton.
I'm Edward T. Martin.
And you're watching The Cutting Edge, Revealing the Truth. Remember, this is the show where you don't just hear them, but you actually get to see and experience the guest. Well, tonight's show will feature an interview we did with Barbara Lamb some time ago. Barbara Lamb, by the way, is both a certified hypnotherapist and a regression therapist as well. She is also a licensed marriage and family therapist or counselor. And since 1991, Barbara has been regressing people with extraterrestrial experiences. Barbara is also a dedicated and very avid crop circle researcher. And tonight's interview with Barbara took place at a UFO conference where I had an opportunity to sit down and spend a little time and do a very candid interview with her, I might say. In the first clip, Barbara talks about hypnotic regression and mentions that people sometimes find out more than what they really want to find out, or things they weren't expecting to find out. So really, if anyone is going to be regressed or going into a regression session, be prepared, and it really takes a brave person to do this. So, if we're ready, let's go ahead and run that first clip, please.
So, through this work of hundreds, well, probably 2,000 or so regressions, I would guess now, there appears to be quite a variety of beings that come to the earth at times and interact with people in various ways. So I probably have heard of 25 or so different species that come and interact with people. And some of these beings seem to be very loving and caring and compassionate, and they teach and train the human beings they work with. And some seem to be more neutral, they seem to be more sort of scientist types, and some of them seem to be very self-serving. That is, they don't seem to care if they really bother the human beings they work with, or if they even physically hurt them or frighten them, sometimes even terrify them, and they just go about doing what they want for their own purpose. So the experiences range from very negative experiences on the part of some people with some beings, and to very, very positive experiences on the part of others, even sometimes very uplifting, transformational experiences, and experiences of unconditional love in some cases, where the person who experiences this is so thrilled and loved and known, you know, like the grace of God kind of knowing, that they're really sad even when they come back from an experience with that kind of being.
Okay, well, in the next clip, Barbara talks about, and the key word here is secondary military ET abductions. Secondary. Usually these type of abductions follow a good encounter, and then is a secondary military abduction. We'll unfold more of this as we go along. So if we're ready, why don't we just go ahead and roll right into our next clip, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had a few situations in regression where somebody seemed to be taken by extraterrestrials to a place where there were human people looking like military people. I don't know if they really are military people, but that's what impresses the experiencer. So that seems to be a combination of extraterrestrial and human people working together. Additionally, some people are actually taken by humans to a facility where they are working with the extraterrestrials. Seems to be able to happen either way. And people tend to feel more negative about that than about any of the other extraterrestrial experiences they have. Partly because it seems like our own people, our own fellow humans, are doing these things very, very subversively. And so the people, the experiencers, really object to this. So what happens with those experiences is quite a variety, but generally tends to work along the line of very intrusive physical examinations, and maybe an implant or two being put in or maybe removed. But sometimes those experiences have included things like trying to find out from the people what their extraterrestrial experiences were, as if to learn more about how this is affecting human beings. And also sometimes the people, the human people in those situations, military, shall we call them, are trying to find out what psychic skills the experiencer has learned from the extraterrestrials. So one woman, for instance, had been taught to levitate things with her mind just by looking at an object and levitating it. Now that had been happening in a lot of her extraterrestrial experiences since early childhood. And then when she was an adult, she realized that one of these abductions was by the human beings, and they were trying to learn from her how to do this. And in that same facility there were some extraterrestrials. But so she did not mind being taken by the extraterrestrials and learning these skills, but she did mind being abducted by the humans and then trying to get from her, what she had been learning. It seemed very, very subversive to her, whereas in comparison the abductions by extraterrestrials had not seemed subversive. So there does seem to be some collaboration going on between humans in some sort of authority positions working along with some extraterrestrials. Yeah.
I could see that with the typical military mindset, the end justifies the means, we don't care about anything else, just the result.
Yeah.
That mindset, I think being in that presence would be scarier than being in an ET presence.
Yes, I think these people do express that being, taken and subjected to things by humans is much much inexcusable, just very untenable. And you see, I think a lot of people, especially when they think of leaders or military people, they expect to be protected by those people. But in these kinds of situations, they're not only not protected, but they're victimized by those people. So it has that extra anger and dislike about it.